boot camp ahead of us, men. That'll get us toned and prepared for all manner of combat.
Not working out at all. Masking tape. It is no friend to chilled aluminum. Velcro. Color-coded, efficient, environmentally friendly.
Who's he talking to?
Why is he dressed like a registered sex offender?
Can we focus for a moment, ladies? Please, we need to talk about next month's meal plan. Obviously, everyone hated the ceviche. I read the suggestion box. That's on me.
I'm gonna stop you right there. I see through this weak act. You may have fooled Colossus with this nice guy shit, but not me.
Don't be mean.
Back off, NTW.
No. No, let her go. Let her go. It's okay. She has a right to be skeptical. Look at me. I'm an easy target. You know, historically, mischief has been my mistress, so I understand. You know, but I like to think that you guys have really rubbed off on me. I like to think that I've rubbed off around you, too. A lot. And for the first time in a long while, I like me. I accept your apology.
I never apologized.
I was talking to your heart.
See? You're not lost cause you thought. I'm proud. You're everything I knew you can be.
Thank you, Colossus. Just trying to be the world's best X-Man. Sorry, X-person.
Something wrong with the soap.
It's fine. I just filled it. Give it a few more pumps there. Now, if you'll excuse me, it's dust bunny season, and I'm hunting rabbits.
Bye, Nate.
Hey everybody, it's Charlie. The Deadpool Blu-ray is coming out soon, so they're dropping all kinds of deleted scenes and bonus features, so let's break it down. I know I'm doing that Infinity War Blu-ray giveaway, but I'll do Deadpool Blu-ray for this. So all you have to do to enter that is be a subscriber and leave a comment on the video. Note to self, never let Deadpool be your roommate, cook your meals, or let him use any of your soap dispensers. The funny thing about this is all the mock sincerity in the deeply, deeply disgusting joke that they lay in. And they even cut this scene down. There's an even longer version of this on the Blu-ray with an even grosser part of the scene that they cut out. This whole scene is happening after Deadpool has accepted Colossus's offer to become an X-Man. So there's a big montage during the movie where you just see a bunch of funny moments with him wheeling around the X-Mansion pretending like he's trying to become an X-Man. We open on Colossus doing boot camp exercises on the lawn. It's just funny watching him doing exercises with his powers activated. But the thing about this is that he actually doesn't need to activate his powers when he's working out in order to get stronger. His metal exoskeleton doesn't work like that. Like, he could just work out like a normal person. His skin just exudes the metal whenever he activates his powers. So if his muscles naturally get bigger like you would when you work out, then the metal that forms around his body would grow proportionately with that. But the thing about the way they do this movie is that, one, it looks kind of funny in this moment, and two, they've done all of Colossus's scenes with his powers activated, so at this point, it would just be really weird to see the human who does the voice for this character. And there's actually two different people that perform the Colossus character. There's the person that does the mocap. He's like this giant, huge person. Then there's the actor that does the voice. Usually when you see articles that say that Colossus from Deadpool says this or that, they're quoting the actor that does the voice. He's viewed as the main actor. They did the same thing with Juggernaut, except it was Ryan Reynolds himself that did the voice for Juggernaut. So when you rewatch the movie, listen to his lines and see if you can detect Ryan Reynolds in there. But he's pretty good at changing his voice, and they processed it a little bit to give it that boomy quality for someone so big. Deadpool gets really anal retentive about the way they're organizing the fridge, so he opens it up and you see a bunch of containers with X-Men's names on it. So this is Yukio over on the right. That's the one that he grabs and rips the label off of. But you also see one marked Colossus and one marked Charles, so Professor Xavier has some of his lunch stored in there. Don't steal his food or he'll have you thinking that you're a 13-year-old girl and the other female X-Men braiding your hair.
Logan, my tolerance for your smoking in the mansion notwithstanding, continue smoking that in here, and you'll spend the rest of your days under the belief that you're a 6-year-old girl.
You'd do that?
I'd have Jean braid your hair. Welcome back.
Deadpool's OCD solution to this problem, because there are a ton of X-Men living there, is to use Velcro labels, and you see a whole bunch of them. One of them is Professor X's labeled Wheels in red. There's Yukio, Beast, Colossus, and Negasonic, who they're just abbreviating as NTW, and Colossus also calls her that later in the clip too. But remember, there was that other scene that made it into the movie where they opened the door and you see all the Dark Phoenix X-Men. They're going to be in that movie behind there just trying to be really quiet so that Deadpool doesn't notice them. The thing about that is that they also have a bonus feature with a bunch of dirty versions of that scene that they shot. And they shot it in 2 different locations because they weren't filming Dark Phoenix in the same place that they were filming Deadpool to. So they had to use a green screen and just composite those 2 parts. So all the X-Men stuff that's happening is happening on a completely different set in a different location from where they're filming this Deadpool stuff. His reference about the suggestion box makes it sound like while he's been training to be an X-Men, he's been cooking them meals on a regular basis. Deadpool is actually a pretty decent cook in the comics. Usually you just see him cooking pancakes or chimichangas or tacos or something like that. But then as they start quipping back and forth, you actually notice that Yukio's mug says, "I'm with her," with an arrow pointing at Negasonic. Most of you probably knew that they were a couple in the film, but a lot of Negasonic scenes got cut out that added some context to that just because they said they slowed the movie down. So there was like a whole bunch of other stuff that happened in the X-Mansion that just didn't make it into the movie. There's a couple moments where like Yukio will hold it up really close to her face. Like they were very obvious with this. Like they wanted to let you know that they were together. And Negasonic also has the same mug with the arrow pointing in the opposite direction. Most visual gags in Deadpool are pretty obvious, but every once in a while there's like a subtle one in the background. The way they pull off this next joke too is a little bit of both. Like it's probably one of the dirtier jokes that they've included in the movies. He makes a reference to Mischief being his mistress. He's mostly talking about the crazier girlfriends that he's had in the comics, particularly Copycat, who is Vanessa, who we do have during this movie, even though this version isn't a mutant like she is in the comics, and she's way less crazy. Comic book Copycat is legit nuts. Like, especially the early versions of the character wrote her just completely off the deep end crazy. There's this whole big thing about Deadpool faking it. You're not really trying to be an X-Men. And then they really drop it on you, where he's like, "I like to think that you've rubbed off on me, and I've also rubbed off around you." Then I love the way that he just pauses for a beat, turns, looks at Colossus, and says, "A lot."
I like to think that I've rubbed off around you too. A lot.
Everybody's playing it cool except for Negasonic. The reaction on her face is priceless. Like, she's actually thinking about that, like, wait a minute, has he actually been rubbing off all over the place around the X-Mansion? What's going on? This is the grossest thing ever. Then without missing a beat, Colossus is pumping on the soap dispenser. Notice what's in it. He says, "I can't get it to work." Then Deadpool very casually says, "Keep trying, I just filled it." And they actually added some sound effects, like he squirts a little bit out. This is where they cut the dirtier part of the scene out. So there's an additional part of this where you actually see Deadpool, quote unquote, filling the soap dispenser. So it's super funny and super gross at the same time, and you understand why they cut it out of the film a little bit because of that. Even though the movie is a pretty hard R, that was a bit gratuitous, and this scene in general just kind of slowed the film down. So even though it's really funny, it just didn't fit with the entire film. They just wanted to move past this X-Mansion scene so that they could get into the action of the film. Because the movie starts off great, but then it sort of grinds to a halt a little bit during all this X-Mansion stuff until they decide to finally go after Fire Fist. But right now, the movie is dropping on digital tomorrow, so you'll actually be able to get a lot of these bonus scenes. I'll do videos for as many as I can. Leave all your requests in the comments below. If you happen to be a Dragon Ball fan, there was also some new stuff that dropped for the Dragon Ball Super movie, so there's a video for that coming up soon too. But click here for all those Infinity War deleted scenes, and click here for brand new Avengers 4. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody stay awesome. I'll see you guys tonight.